W8VPV. Repeater PL110.9.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday Night VHF UHF Net. My name is John, and my call is WO3X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited in and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information to enhance net operating practices and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, and confirming each call. Then I'll correspond with those 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more until we're done. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been worked, I will repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins. We also operate a band exploration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. Please, the approximate frequencies are posted on our webpage, www.cfarc.org, and tonight we will be on 160 meters at approximately 1.8875 megahertz, but we will be using amplitude modulation. Okay, here are the announcements. February 8th, that's Wednesday of next week, will be our business meeting, but in addition to the business meeting, we will have the presentation by Frank W8EZT about our repeater, and the reason for that is because the activity meeting last week was canceled because our policy is that the Cuyahoga Falls schools are closed due to weather, then our meeting is canceled. So that's why that happened that way. Then on February 22nd will be our activity meeting, and that will consist of a presentation by Greg Latta, AA8V, that's Alpha Alpha 8 Victor, and the topic will be backyard radio astronomy. So that will be something totally different from what we usually present. So I read a little bit about it, and it looks like we could do radio astronomy ourselves too. So Greg will show what he's done and how to do it too. So it's going to be quite interesting. Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. Are there any officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Whiskey 8 Echo Zulu Tango.
Whiskey 8 Echo Zulu Tango. Go ahead, Frank.
Thanks, John. I just want to reemphasize what you said. February 8th will be it's technically a business meeting, but it's really going to be a fellowship meeting. We may have a few minutes of business on the front end, but a majority of it is going to be the presentation that was going to happen on the 8th. And I wanted to emphasize that the back end of that presentation is going to be open-ended in terms of turning it over to club members for a discussion of what improvements and what enhancements do you want to see in our repeater system. We're going to try to get some ideas from you about what you'd like to see down the road. If it's a digital mode, let us know. If it's linked one way or another, let us know. But we want to make it a discussion and start the transition to improving the system. All right, that's really all I've got, John. Please check me in, and I'll be sitting here monitoring if something interesting goes fast. Back to net, W8EZT here.
Okay, Frank. Yeah, very good. That sounds like fun there. So that's going to be a good meeting, a good, fun, and interesting meeting. Thanks. Are there any other officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Okay, not hearing any. I'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time. And let me confirm each call 1 at a time.
November 8, Ocean Queen Papa.
N80QP, I have you, Pat.
November 8, November Hotel, Mark and Akron, in and out.
N8NH, I have you in and out, thanks. Another one, please.
KFAG, Kilo Foxtrot 8 Golf, Brian and Norton.
Have you, Brian, thanks. KFAG. Another one, please.
W8DIS, in and out.
Have you in and out, Bill, thanks. Another one, please.
KE8KVI, in and out.
KE8KVI. Ron, I have you in and out, thanks. There was another one in there along with Ron. Come on back. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
KA8WTK.
KA8WTK. I have you, Bill. Thanks. Another one, please.
APU?
8PU. Okay. Thanks, Larry. Okay, so let's see. That takes us back up to the top here. So that's N80QP. Go ahead, Pat, with your comments.
First of all, good evening, everybody, and welcome to almost February. Tonight's nets, especially that Explorer net's going to be kind of interesting to me, but I don't think I'm going to be able to transmit because of I already tried, and for some reason my 160 dipole or long wire just doesn't do it up there. So I can listen anyway. I did want to make a couple of comments as far as the canceled meeting. I don't want anybody not to realize that we didn't follow protocol there. I conferred with when I was asked to what I wanted to do. I conferred with all the other officers, and it wasn't a just one-person decision. For some reason, a lot of people think that the power of the presidency or whatever can decide this stuff. But I wanted to make sure that we followed the protocol and what's in the bylaws. So that's the way that was decided. And I was afraid of trying to bring everybody out in the cold and having the weather turn worse instead of what it did. So, yeah, we had to make a decision about by 1 o'clock that afternoon, so that's what we did. Let me break for a second.
W8V.
I will be returning as net control next week. I'm ready to take those duties back. And so if you're the 2-meter net will be mine next week. I think that's about it, John. I was trying to think of some other stuff I wanted to say while I was here, and nothing comes to mind, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to you. Thanks for taking over for me in the past year, and I will probably talk to you sometime within the next week. And thanks, everybody, for joining us here. One last thing that I did think of, the February 8th meeting will be of a format that we're going to really try to work for, to where we don't have so much business in the business meetings, and we're going to have more presentations and hands-on stuff. So be looking forward to that. Anyway, back to net and AOQP.
Okay, Pat, very good. Yeah, that sounds good. I wasn't surprised when we got the notice that the meeting was canceled. I guess the weather didn't turn out as bad as what the forecast was. All the school districts around here had closed for the day, and but even though it turned out to not be very bad weather. So thanks for taking care of that, and we'll be at the meeting there on the 8th. Okay, so next is, let's see, N8NH was in and out, so the next is KFAG. Brian. Go ahead, Brian, with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Good evening, John. I heard you running the net, so I had to stop in and say hello. Oh, I was going to tell you, I forgot to tell you during the net, Dad bought a Henry. I got a 38 357 Henry. Well, it's beautiful. Brass sides on it and everything. He's rather pleased with that, so little things to make him happy, I guess. But he never did answer me on what you told me about his workplace, so I'll have to ask him about it tomorrow. So I'll chat with you on the 6-meter net next Sunday, John. Catch you later, buddy. KFAG. Oh, hey, by the way, are you going down to the Wilderness Center Saturday?
Yeah, I'm planning to, and what went on where I used to work is that all the people in the engineering department got terminated and got their severance packages. So Thursday was their last day. They came in, and some of them were working from home, so they had to go in Thursday and get all their stuff. So that's what went on there. I'll be at the Wilderness Center there on Saturday, so I'll see you there. Thanks for checking in there, Brian, and 73, and have a good evening. Okay, next is Bill, KA8WTK. Go ahead, Bill, with your comments.
Yeah, good evening, John. W8VPV and the rest of the net. KA8WTK, Bill in Talmadge. It's going to be an interesting night, I hope, down on 160. The broadcast stations are rolling in, and on 1710 is the only station in the U.S. licensed on 1710, which comes from Hudson County, New Jersey. It's a 10-watt local public service station. I got the call, hang on. QFG 689 in Hudson County, New Jersey, which is right across the river from New York City, and on 1710. So if you get a chance, listen down there. Other than that, not much going on except for keeping the home fires burning. The furnace went out today, so it's shut down. We've got a couple little heaters and this wood stove going, and it's funny, the house feels more cozy that way than having the furnace running. So, back to net. W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Okay, Bill, very good, and thanks for suggesting that we do AM when we're doing this fifth Monday, winter 160 meters. That's going to be fun, so thanks. 73, and I'll hear you later. Okay, next is K8PU. Larry, go ahead with your comments.
John, everybody on the net, nice warm evening. Yeah, I just really didn't want to do in and out, didn't really have much to say, but Pat mentioned shortening up the business meeting and having a little other activity going on. Come back, it took me back to many moons ago, probably before you came in the club, and we used to have a little thing we called show and tell, and guys would just remember, Walt, myself, different people, get up and just 10 minutes or so, not a big presentation for a whole meeting, and maybe bring in an old rig that somebody hadn't seen before, talk about a little bit, or a project you did with an antenna the last week on your car, and things like that. I can't remember all the little things that guys did, but we called it just show and tell, and like I say, we didn't have a whole program for a whole meeting, just a few minutes, and then somebody else would do one. I did one time myself about converting a computer, a power supply, to using it for ham radio. It worked, it was pretty neat. I never did use it, but for somebody that didn't have a lot of bucks, you can put together a 25-watt power supply pretty easy. And just fun things. Bruce did a number of things, and some other guys aren't even around anymore, little presentations like that. Let me get a minute here. They got guys that normally wouldn't get up and do a whole program, get up and talk about something they did in the last week with a little project, and Bob McFadden and folks were pretty good at that. That was pretty good. But I was thinking, what could be if we shorten the business meeting up and tag on 2 or 3 4 little presentations like that. Do the business meeting, maybe take a break, do the few little presentations. Whatever anybody did during the week, not a whole big display and a whole presentation with the video and everything. Just something simple. But that was fun. We called it show and tell. Anyways, can't do the 160 thing, John, but catch you guys next week, and also next week the meeting. So back to you. W8VPV, KPU. Everybody stay safe.
Okay, Larry, very good. Yeah, that sounds like that's going to be fun. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening, and we'll talk with you or hear you on the repeater next week. Okay, so that takes us to the bottom of the list. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the microphone, asking for check-ins.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar.
AC8XO, I have you, Vince. Another one, please.
8HMS.
K8HMS, I have you, Steve. Another one, please. WB8CXO, I have you. Another one, please. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
KE8 DFH Chuck Martin, in and out.
KE8DFH in and out. Another check-in, please. You're not quite making it into the repeater good enough to hear you. maybe if you can increase your power. If you can't increase power, then maybe get a higher elevation. Go ahead, give it another try there. No, you're not making a repeater. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for another check-in.
Kilo Echo 8 Uniform Lima Alpha, in and out.
KE8ULA, I have you in and out. Another check-in, please.
November 8, Uniform Kilo Mike, in and out.
November 8 KM, I have you in and out. Another check-in, please.
Uniform Kilo Mike, Uniform Kilo Mike QSL.
Evening, Chris.
NHUKM, okay, I have it corrected. Another check-in, please. Okay, well, we'll stop there. So we'll go back to Vince, AC8XO. Go ahead, Vince, with your comments.
Good evening, John, and everybody on the net. The only comment I have is last 2 days from the end of the month. So if you want to get an article in, now's the time. I will be out of the world, or not out of the world, out of the country. No, I'm not out of the state. I can't get back to you guys. I will try over the internet, but I will not be on the net for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So anyway, newsletter will be out in a week. Other than that, that's all I got.
Okay, Vince, thanks for the notice that you won't be on the nets. So, okay, have a good time wherever you're going to be. So, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, that takes us to Steve, K8HMS. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments.
Hey, hi, John. WAVPV in the net. 8HMS on the Bow 40 side. To say good evening to you, good evening to everybody. Good to hear people. And Larry, yeah, I remember that. The show and tell thing. Won't be able to do the 160. My long wire on the road to fix it. But I'll be listening. Anyway, other than that, I guess that's about it. Good to hear everybody.
Okay, Steve, you were breaking up a little bit there, but did you say your long wire is down and you need to get up on the roof to fix it?
Yeah, is this better? I'm on the 2 meter side.
Yeah, that's better. Is that the case?
Yeah, my one end support busted, so I got it taken down. My neighbor helped me take it down, and I got to get a new support for it and get up on the roof and hook up the one end support.
Oh, okay, that's too bad, because that would probably work good on 160. So, okay, well, good luck with that. So, we'll hear you next week on the nets then. So K8HMS 73, and have a good evening. Okay, that takes us to WB8CXO. Go ahead with your comments. Okay, well, the audio sounded okay. So have a good evening, 73, and we'll hear you next week. Okay, so let's see, that takes us to the bottom of the list because all the others were in and out. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W03X at the mic, asking for check-ins.
W8VPV. Repeater.
Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for more check-ins.
November 8, Yankee Romeo X-ray.
Go ahead, Buck, with your comments. I'll go one at a time.
Okay, well, I don't really have anything to throw in there, John, except to say hello to you and everybody else that's listening. And just enjoying this really severe winter that we've been having. I hope it keeps up. All right, that's all I've got for you. Back to you, John, NAYRX.
Okay, very good. I'll hear you on 3902 kilohertz tomorrow, so 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Let's see, you're real scratchy into the repeater. Try it again, maybe talk louder. Well, that didn't work. Maybe talk less quiet. It will spread out the power less. And go ahead, try it.
Hey, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have the 440 capability, UADZT.
What's that about 440, Frank?
You might have him try 440 if he has the capability, WADCT.
Okay. Yeah, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. If you're trying to check in on 2 meters, try the 440 side if you can. It's, do you know the frequency? Well,
W8VPV. Repeater. PL110.9.
it's 444.85 with a PL tone of 110.9, same PL tone as the 2 meters. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
K8ZT.
K8ZT. Go ahead, Anthony, with your comments.
Good evening, everyone. Only comment is this weekend is the beginning of the state QSO parties. There's 3 this weekend, and there'll be a number of them coming up. If you're interested in finding out more about the State Party QSO Challenge, I am doing a presentation at 9 p.m. on Wednesday night for the Rat Pack group, and
If you go to ratpac.us, that's ratpac.us, you can get the information on Zoom, and they have meetings every Wednesday and Thursday, but the one this week, Wednesday, will be on the State QSO Party Challenge. This is KCT.
Okay, thanks for that information, Anthony. Yeah, the state QSO parties are always a lot of fun there, so thanks for pointing that out. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Recheck.
Go ahead, recheck.
Yeah, KHMS, I'd like to ask Anthony a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask Anthony the question, Steve.
Yeah, hi Anthony, KCT, KHMS. I see you working the certificate from them, or how does it?
You dropped out a lot there, Steve. We couldn't tell what you were asking, if what he's gonna work.
Okay, back to 2 meters. Yeah, KCT, KHMS. Yeah, I see you've been working the WRTC event. I just wonder the certificate, how that works, or how you get that.
Went to their website today, and I'm confused also because it shows a 1 month, but then it shows upcoming months coming up. And I clicked on the link for the certificate, and it didn't go anywhere. So I don't know if they're going to turn that on at the end of the month, and you can just go to the website, click on the link, and it'll generate the certificate. That's my guess. I have 22 of them currently, and I've been trying to get a few more, but I know that they're doing something that ends at the end of the month, so it'll be ending tomorrow. But it looks like they also have some event planned monthly for the next 3 or 4 months.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I kind of thought that too. Maybe there was something that you could just get the darn thing. But, okay, I'll kind of keep watching because, yeah, I got a whole bunch of stations. I don't know the count, but it's way up there. So, okay, thank you. Appreciate it. KCT, KHMS, back to net.
Okay, very good, Steve. Thanks. And thanks, Anthony, for that information. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any. I'll repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins. So on February 8th, that's Wednesday of next week, is what would be our business meeting, and since the presentation that was supposed to happen last week during our activity meeting was canceled, we will have it during this meeting on February 8th. And so the business part of the meeting will be shortened, going more toward what we're going to have as the format of our meetings in the future, our business meetings in the future. So that'll be more fun. And then on February 22nd is the presentation by Greg Latta, AA8V, about backyard radio astronomy. And it seems like with a little bit of readily available equipment that a lot of us could do this ourselves too. So Greg will show how it's done. Let's see, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. That was a good carrier, but no audio. Want to try that again? Okay, there. I hear some audio, but it's way low. But if the audio, if you could get the audio up, we'd be able to copy it because you're good into the repeater with the carrier. I'm not sure what the problem is. We're not getting any audio out of that. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. No, there was still no audio there. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 17 check-ins, counting myself, and return the repeater to normal and customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, closing the net at 9:07 p.m. local time. 7-3.
W8VPV.
Good job, John. Thank you, sir. I'll catch you over. At least I'll be listening on the other one. What was that frequency again?
1887.5 kilohertz. Now to get to the 0.5, put your radio on the sideband to get to that frequency, and then switch it to AM mode.
1887.5. I'll get that. Thanks, sir.
Okay, yeah, very good. And Bill mentioned about that 1710 AM, so that and 10 watts in New Jersey. I'm going to see if I can hear them. So this is WO3X. I'll be clear this frequency.
This is KE8MWD. Does anybody have a copy on me?
This is WO3X. What's that call again? KE8 what?
WO3X. This is Kilo Echo 8 Mike Whiskey Delta. My name is Shane. Yeah, I tried to check into the net last minute. Just got out of work here. I just unplugged my microphone and plugged it back in, and seems to be like you're hearing me now.
Yeah, okay, so that was you trying to check in and all we were getting was a carrier?
Yeah, that would be right. Yeah, the mic was lit up and let me key up, but I don't know why you guys weren't hearing anything. That's weird. The microphone is a little old. It's got some tears. It's probably one of the wires or something. I gotta replace it here soon, but if Pat's still there. Hi, Pat.
I guess he's not there now. Okay, so that'll make 18 check-ins then. Thanks, Shane, for checking in. 73, and have a good evening. I'll check you into WAVPV. So this is WO3X, and I'll be QRT.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming back to me. This is KE8MWD 73.
QP's back for a second. What's up?
Oh, hey, Pat. It's Shane, KE8MWD. I was just saying hi. I was trying to check in, but you guys were only hearing the carrier, so I just plugged back in the microphone, and it seems to be working now.
It always works when you plug in the microphone. Didn't somebody tell you that in the beginning?
Well, no, that's not what it was. The microphone was plugged in, and it was even lit up because it's backlit. And it was letting me transmit, but I guess you guys just weren't hearing anything, so I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and after he closed the net, and it seems to be working now.
If all else fails, reboot.
Roger that. How have you been, Pat? It's been a while. I think somebody doubled with you there, Pat.
This is WO3X. Yes, 18 check-ins now, Pat.
Okay, no problem. Thanks, sir. I'm going to be listening on the other one, too. So check me in, if you would. Anyway, QP. And Shane, doing all right. Just up and down, day by day.
Yeah, I get that. Started a second job over here at AutoZone in the Hartville, so I get out at 9, so I guess that thing was last minute, but I guess it was right for the net.
That'll work.
Sorry?
That will work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I gotta replace this microphone. It's getting a bit old. Wires are starting to fray all over it. But, yeah, anyway, you have a good rest of your night. I'm gonna get home here. Just wanted to check in and say, hey, this is KE8MWD 73.
Okay, Shane, have a good evening, and hopefully catch you down the pike somewhere here. And there you go, QP. Goes right to 160 meters.
once in a while you gotta take a night off, you know, and get frustrated. Instead of getting frustrated at the conditions, you get frustrated at the referees at the football game. So we've said enough about that tonight, I guess. Anyway, but there's, you know, all over the internet, everybody's questioning the NFL and referees, and so I think they need to really do something to hone their image a little bit, and I don't know what it's going to be, but something convincing anyway. So yeah, in my career as a soccer player, we dealt with hometown refs and hometown crowds many times, and
she never been nowhere but Ohio and Pennsylvania. That's where I'm from, and that's where she was born. And well, I took her to Canada. I took her to Canada several times. Actually, my mother and my grandmother. So, because they've never been anywhere. So when we ended up going to the Florida Keys, I actually took my mother. Now I tell you, she had one big old good old time. I be able to do it. Knowing that she never got that chance to go anywhere. And yeah, we even rented a boat down there in the 24-footer, and I operated it. I mean, I rented it. We went out in the ocean there, and actually we went out to where the shipping vessels. That's how far we went out there. But yeah, we had a good old time there. Well, anyhow, yeah, hopefully sometime that I still might be able to get a chance to go out west there. Okay, well, we'll swing it back to you there, Mike. And again, man, I got armchair coffee here on you. I mean, it's just absolutely...
November 3W.
Signals are excellent here tonight, and very, very, very nice. Yeah, I enjoyed all that. I really did. Yeah, what a wonderful opportunity for your mom and your grandmother. Very, very nice. Yeah, I lived in Arizona for about 3 years, 24 years. Spent a lot of time, mostly in as often as I could because it got so hot.
Right now, sleeping it off. Dead dogs like that.
I won't give him anything unusual, but chicken, he can eat it. N8SOB, come on in, and then we'll go to LXZ.
All right there, Lobie, WA2AXD.
CQ, this is N3 RYB, N3 RYB, November 3, Romeo Bravo, calling CQ on honor 50 meters AM. CQ, N3 RYB, N3 RYB, November 3, row your boat, and Harbor Ferry West Virginia, calling CQ on 50 meters AM. CQ, this is N3 RYB, N3 RYB, November 3, row your boat. November 3, row your boat, and Harper Ferry, West Virginia, calling CQ on 150 meters, amplitude modulation. CQ, this is N3 RYB, N3 RYB, November 3, row your boat. Warming up the worms and Harper Ferry, West Virginia, 150 meters AM. CQ, this is N3.
Kilo 8 Zulu Tango, Kilo 8 Zulu Tango, is this frequency in use? Hi Mike, this is KZK, you sound good there also. Yeah, there's also someone down at about 18.50, and I thought we might interfere with him, but I think we're far enough away from him. WO3X, K8ZT.
KAZT, I hear you. The net's going to start in a few seconds here. Over.
Yeah, I thought we might want to get started here before we get covered up. This is Kilo 8 Zulu Tango.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I heard somebody way down in the signal here, but I think we'll be okay.
Okay, this is Kilo 8 Zulu Tango.
Okay, good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night band exploration net. My name is John, and my call is WO3X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and to keep members updated about club happenings. This band exploration net meets every Monday evening at 9:30 p.m. local time, preceded by the VHF-UHF net at 8:30 and Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. Each Monday evening, this band exploration net is on a different frequency. Next week, we will be on 6 meters at around 50.270 megahertz upper sideband. When checking in, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. Also, let me know if you have any comments or traffic for the net, or if you are checking in and out. I will start with announcements and then call for officers or members who may have items of general interest to the club. When all have checked in, I will repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins and close the net. Okay, here are the announcements. The next regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be on February 8th, and it will be both in person and on Zoom. And it will be about will be a short business part, and then we'll have a presentation by WAVVT about our repeater, and then he'll open it up to the participants to make comments about the repeater. Then on February 22nd is our activity meeting, and that will be a presentation by Greg Latta, A8AV, that's Alpha Alpha 8 Victor, about backyard radio astronomy. And he will tell us how you can do it, and with a little bit of added equipment, we would be able to do that ourselves also. So that'll be an interesting presentation. Okay, so with that, let's see, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Are there any members with items, any members or officers with items for the net? Please call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Kilo 8 is Zulu Tango. Kilo 8 is Zulu Tango.
Kilo 8 Zulu Tango. Go ahead, Anthony, with your comments.
Good evening, John. Good evening, everyone on the net. And for anyone out there listening, you can find out more information about our club and the band exploration net at www.CFARC Charlie Foxtrot Alpha Romeo Charlie.org. Just great to be on 160. Had fun this last weekend in the 160 CW contest. By the way, in February there will be the 160 single sideband contest coming up, so check the club calendar for information. This is K8ZT.
Okay, Anthony, thanks for that. The meeting, our activity meeting, and the meeting and the business meeting will be on Zoom. So you can go to the website and www.cfarc.org to get the link for the Zoom meeting. Okay, thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening there, Anthony. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Are there any other members or officers who have items, special information for the club? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. WB8 CXO. Go ahead, Mike, with your comments. We'll just take them one at a time on this net. Okay, thanks, Mike, for checking in. Thanks for the compliments. And 73, and have a good evening. This is, okay, we had one check-in by proxy at the beginning of the net. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. KAA-WTK, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, over.
Yeah, W8VPV, KAA-WTK. Yeah, I didn't want to jump in there in case there was somebody else who wanted to check in. Did you happen to listen for that station on 1710, John?
Yeah, I tuned to it, and I could tell that something was there. But my antenna is pretty narrow band, so I would have to get that station in good enough to tell what they were saying. I could tell that there was a man talking. Over.
Yeah, you have to be a little patient there. It fades in and fades out. If you listen long enough, it gets real loud, and then it goes down and disappears again. Also tonight, there was a music station on top of it until 9 o'clock p.m. local time, and then they played the Star Spangled Banner and went off the air. And I'm not sure what that might be. It's quite possibly a pirate station that was using the same frequency. But I'm not sure where it was at, unless it was in the southern United States, because they were talking about highs of 69 degrees. So southern United States somewhere, maybe out to the west coast, somewhere like that. It's pretty interesting to listen down in there. You can hear 3 and 4 different stations, one right on top of the other on those different frequencies that they added to the AM broadcast band. I hope you're hearing this well tonight. This is my DX100. If you want it in old-fashioned watts, it's a 100-watt transmitter. If you want it in today's watts, it's 400 PEP. That does a pretty fair job normally. Back to you, John.
Well, I'm picking you up 40 over 9 here, Bill, so it's working very well. Let's see, so I'll see if there's any other check-ins here. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the microphone here. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
I think I got somebody down in the noise, John.
Yeah, I thought I heard somebody also. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Whiskey Oscar 3 Echo X-Ray Kilo 8 Zulu Tango. It sounds like it might be a single sideband station.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, that might be that other conversation going on. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Are there any more check-ins? Okay, not hearing any. In preparing, let's see. I'll repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins. So, February 8th, that's Wednesday of next week, is our business meeting, and it will be a short business meeting, followed by a presentation by Frank W8EZT about our repeater, and then a discussion afterwards, after his presentation about what we would like to have in the way of features, added features for the repeater. And let's see, so that will be in person at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ in Cuyahoga Falls, 130 Broad Boulevard. You get to the parking lot by going on 2nd Street south of Broad Boulevard and turn toward the east to go into the parking lot. And then on February 22nd will be a activities meeting, a presentation by Greg Latta, Alpha 8 Victor, about backyard radio astronomy. And so that will also be in person and on Zoom. Both of these meetings will be on Zoom also. Go to www.cfarc.org, click on the calendar, and look for the Zoom link. Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is send your articles to the newsletter editor at CFARC.org. Send your articles to the newsletter editor at CFARC.org. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Last call for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. As mentioned earlier, this band exploration net meets every Monday at 9:30 p.m. Next week, the frequency will be 50.270 megahertz upper sideband. Please feel free to check in regularly, even if only for a moment. All comments are welcomed and valuable to us. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net and return the frequency to normal and customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:45 p.m. local time with 5 check-ins counting myself. 73.
Kilo Alpha 8 Whiskey Tango Kilo Alpha 8 WTK K8ZT.
K8ZT. Hey Anthony, K8WTK.
Well, I wanted to log the contact with you. I noticed in the log that 28 years ago this week we made our satellite contact between Stowe and Talmadge, and we also were on 6-meter sideband that night.
How many years ago did you say?
28. It was January 21st, 1995.
I used to have satellite contacts with Rich Bergen, too, who lived, 2 miles away from me over in Akron. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that was my longest, shortest satellite contact.
Yeah, that's neat. Hey, you sound good on 160. I don't know how much power you're running. The SX43 is not that sensitive a receiver, but John, it sounded really good tonight. WB8CXO sounded good, and you do too.
Well, I'm running high power. I'm running the full 25 watts that the FT-DX10 puts out.
Yeah, you're not nearly as loud as John, though, but he's a whole lot closer. So, yeah. Sometimes 160 doesn't work real good local. It works real good for far away. Because the broadcast band stretches out at night. And some nights it's really cool if you stay up late enough. I don't do that anymore. I'm not too old for that stuff.
Well, you know, I had fun this weekend on 160. I worked Friday night for about 2 hours and Saturday night for about 2 hours, and 4 hours total. I put 150 CW contacts in the log.
Yeah, that's too aggressive for me. I like more casual. In fact, when we get so few contacts on one of these HF bands, we should kind of open it up as a round table and check back in and see if anybody has anything else to say, and make it a little more, I think, informal rather than as structured as it tends to be.
Yeah, I think we can make it more a round table. So that way you get to hear whether other people are hearing you or not, because part of the aspect of this exploration net is seeing, you know, if you're getting out on specific bands. So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Whoops, didn't get the volume down on the 43. It's got a mute on it, but it doesn't happen fast enough, and I get a bit of a echo back through it. I'm going to have to put a relay on the speaker. I've said that now for 15 years and haven't done it. I just turn the volume down and then key up. Yep. Well, I'm going to go in, and I don't know if you heard on the 2-meter net, our furnace is out, and so we're running a couple of little electric heaters and the wood stove to keep the house warm until they get it repaired tomorrow. So I'm going to cut this off and head in the house and check the wood stove, because I sure don't want it to get cold.
Well, we had last March, I think it was, we had to have our furnace replaced. We ran into problems, so I know what the fun you're going through. And you know, with that mute sound, you get almost the inverse Roger beat, so it's rather unique. I'll see you later. 73 Bill, K-A-8-WTK, K-8-CT.
Good night.
When we think about fundamental rights, we can understand the right